Less than a month is left until the local elections. The local election schedule is ticking away. In the last 15 years, almost every year has seen a general election, local election, or referendum. We are constantly at the polls. From a distance, we may appear as a country enamored with democracy, where democracy has penetrated to the very capillaries of our being. Considering all the election agendas of recent years, the 2024 local election is already standing out with some unique characteristics. This election will go down in history as one where campaigns are distant, no campaign, no slogan, and no concrete promise have been etched into the voters' minds. Political parties, both in power and in opposition, have no clear idea how they will enter these elections until the last minutes, meaning they have no preparations in this sense. Alliances are being formed at the last minute, and then they are falling apart. This election is one that passes with the deals made among political parties themselves. It is an election where, especially the opposition parties, starting with the main opposition, have turned a deaf ear to the electorate and followed their own agenda. It is an election where candidates can be promoted regardless of principles. It is an election where the electorate is not taken seriously by the political parties. Undoubtedly, now that almost all candidates are known and the alliance structures have become clear, political parties can start their campaigns, and they did. However, one should not expect these campaigns to resemble those of past years. The electorate, as well as the political parties, are weary of voting, and more importantly, the political parties have no preparations to offer to the electorate's approval at the local government level. Yet, in the face of economic crisis and impoverishment, policies could be developed to improve the quality of life for voters, elevate them from the current situation, devise special strategies for economically and socially disadvantaged groups, and undertake extensive efforts to transfer successful management practices to other regions. This election could have been an opportunity to develop policies to overcome the economic, political, social, ethical, and cultural crisis we are experiencing, or at least to remind voters of the importance of these policies. However, our current primary concern is limited to which political party or candidate will win the metropolitan municipality elections in the three major cities. As a society, we have seen during the pandemic, earthquakes, and floods that we should not expect everything from the central government and recognized how local governments can make a difference in our lives. There's no need for extraordinary circumstances. Successful municipal stories or effective local projects led by local politicians are well known to all of us. As voters, our primary duty is to demand that local politicians and local authorities develop policies that touch our lives and make a difference, and to push them in this direction. This is a right of citizenship that applies as much to metropolitan municipality administrations as it does to district administrations. In our country, the social segments that usually take on and stand out in rights-based politics are women, LGBTI individuals, and environmental advocates. These three groups, along with the Kurds, constitute the main opposition vein in the country. The discourse and promises developed by political parties towards these social groups represent the most significant points of differentiation between the parties. Even though it may not have any effect on the electorate, a brief look at the election manifestos announced by political parties for the 2024 local elections shows that policies towards women and LGBTI still serve as the most important separators. Statements and promises aimed at women are found in the manifestos of all political parties. Political parties do not overlook the female electorate. In its election manifesto, summarized under the principle of populist municipal governance, the CHP dedicates 3 paragraphs to women, promising to remove barriers to employment, prioritize job creation, and offer childcare facilities for this demographic concurrently with young people and individuals with disabilities. Additionally, the party announces the inauguration of women's support lines and women's solidarity houses to further aid women. In the AKP manifesto, shaped around the slogan of genuine municipality, women find their place within the family structure and beside the child. The party's primary promise focuses on establishing a women entrepreneurship academy to integrate women into the business world and encouraging the formation of a network of entrepreneurial women within municipalities. The second agenda item of the manifesto is to expand education against violence in family academies. Women's issues then suddenly disappear among child and family matters. As days pass, the manifesto of the YRP, positioning itself as an alternative to the AKP, is shaped around the narrative of ethical municipality, approaching women as the cornerstone of the family. The party's primary goal is to establish women's councils in local governments. As an extension of the ethical local governance approach, the party proposes to expand the use of technology-supported one-stop application against violence towards women and to proliferate warm home centers where women subjected to violence can find refuge. Additionally, YRP aims to establish mediation centers to prevent divorces. The welfare child daycare, leave for mothers and children on special occasions, are also among the party's promises. TIP, extending its approach of populist, public, and socialist municipality, suggests an urban planning centered around women. Proposals such as daycare for children, women's cooperatives, channels for bringing home-based production to market, vocational courses, free transportation on specific days, and gender-focused education in local services are significant yet quite classic propositions found in the manifesto. The party dedicating the most extensive section to women in its election manifesto is the Dem Party. Offering a promise of local democracy for free cities, the party pledges to establish, or re-establish, a women-centered organization within municipalities, prepare a local government budget focused on gender, establish women's employment development centers, prepare urbanization plans aimed at women, and open daycares, women's houses, cooperatives, cultural and art houses, promising multilingual cultural and art policies. The party's most important promise and red line is the co-presidency system. It is relatively easy to see where political parties stand on the second social divide. LGBTI individuals are practically invisible in the CHP and AKP election manifestos, finding a place in the Dem Party manifesto only within the framework of gender policies. There are two parties that explicitly address LGBTI policies by name. One is the YRP, planning to establish strong family, strong Turkey centers against global attacks on the institution of family. YRP considers combating the plague of the century, LGBT, as the party's top priority. For this purpose, it prioritizes rescuing children who have fallen into the swamp of perverse organizations as its primary mission. The second party addressing LGBTI policies is TIP, promising voters an equal urban life with LGBTI+ individuals. The party commits to developing policies for young, old, student, and job-seeking LGBTI+ individuals within local governments under basic and equal citizenship rights. One point to highlight in these policies is the party's commitment to safeguarding the rights of trans individuals who suffer loss of access to transportation due to gender identity mismatch. It would be wonderful if the current local authorities also paid attention to this promise. At the end of March, the decision is yours, the decision is ours.